Hello. Bob, can you hear me out there?
All
All
right,
right.
I am at Highway 182 out here just west of Quitman right now. This is where some of the most extensive damage was done by the falling trees. As a matter of fact, Quitman Fire Department last night, all of their calls were related to trees falling on power lines. And you can see one right behind me right here. Coming down on this power line right here, knocked out power in this area, and then they say a total of about 14,000 people were without power during this time. That has been reduced. Some people just had their power come back this morning. But as you can see, this monster trees, and you can also hear it because the wind is still gusting right now. But the gusts that came through with the bursts of wind actually caused numerous calls to not only Quitman, but Hawkins Fire Department, a number of fire departments here in Wood County. And what I'm going to show you here is this one actually resulted in a fire as well. If you look over, you can see, now this is right by a pond. All right, so the fire actually was tripped by the live power wires that then actually caught fire to some of the grass in the area out here. Fortunately, no structures were nearby, but did burn about an acre of ground out here. The problem with these, as fire departments have told me, is as these power lines come down because of the trees, oftentimes they simply can't do anything. They put their eyes on the situation, but these lines are still alive, and so they have to wait for the grid to be shut down before they can do anything. For those out there that are wondering, yes, you cannot put water on an electrical fire because it comes right back to you. So you have thousands of volts coming back to the source of the water that you're actually spraying on it, which is why they actually have to wait for the grid to be shut down. Now, fortunately, there were no injuries because of this. But, as you can see, the remnants of the tree right here, power has been restored into this area early this morning.
Yeah, Bob, it really does look like a lot of downed trees are over in that area, and it's sad to see that there was a fire over there. Can you turn that camera around, maybe show our viewers a little bit more of what that looks like with those trees and where you're at right now? Yeah, you
All
can
right.
really see it. It looks like it kind of fell over that barbed wire fence as well, just looking at that. I mean, the roadway is pretty close there. Do you know if that tree had fallen on the roadway? Wow, the power lines too.
Actually, it did. It did fall on the roadway. As you can see, they have cut the remnants of it away. Fortunately, only partially fallen. But there was another tree on the other side over here that also fell, so they had to clear both sides of the roadway because of branches that were interfering with the road. But as you can see right here, this is a massive tree right here. And as it came down, taking the power lines with it, the uh, actually, the fire chief said that when they arrived and looked at it, they saw that the tree was actually conducting as well. Not a lot of people know that. That wood can conduct because they could not only see the sparks, but they could also see that the tree was smoldering. So that tells you that the current was going into it. But this gives you an idea of what they had to deal with. For fire departments, the ones that I talked to last night, they were on pins and needles waiting for the next call because, as we know, the wind did not stop when the sun went down. It kept going well into the evening and in all the way up until at midnight. Somewhere in there is where a lot of them say that they were still hearing the wind and still feeling it. So this is basically what they had to deal with. Now, obviously, they have to wait an appropriate amount of time so that the grid can be confirmed to be shut down so that they can actually start to cut the trees up and actually put fires out like they did. They had about 3 or 4 fires from this last night as well in Wood County. So fortunately, this is the biggest site so far where they had the largest amount of area that was burned. But fortunately, most of them were small and were able to be handled very quickly.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the community is coming together. Fire chief really making sure that the community is aware of what's going on. And thank you so much for being out there and kind of giving us that live look. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Just this, if you see a tree that has come down on a power line and it's across the road, do not try to drive over the power line.
Yep. Well,
That's
you
one.
too.
That's
You
one
too.
lesson
That
I've learned
means
the
you
hard way.
too, Bob. That means you too. Stay safe out there. Thank you so much for that update.